The Wechip V7 Android TV box is another S912 Amlogic Android TV device. My name's Matthew, and you are watching the MXQ project. So this is the Wechip TV box V7. It's actually quite nice packaging, nice and glossy and smooth. Just says there, nice Wechip TV box logo just on the side there, and it's just a sleeve, just comes off just nicely, and we're just left with this. Well, it's pretty boring packaging now. Now let's try and get it open. It's a little bit fiddly trying to get this up, so bear with me. There we go. So here's the V7 just here. So this has the S912 Amlogic processor in it with 3GB RAM, 32GB of onboard storage. It retails for about £50, which is what, $65–70. Nice piece of cheap cardboard there. We don't need that. Chuck that away. Yeah, so HDMI cable there, and we've got a EU plug they've sent us. No good to me, but there we go. And one of these standard remotes. Fantastic. Probably won't be using that, but looks alright. And this hopelessly useless manual. So there we go, that's the unboxing. Let's move on now. So welcome to the Wechip V7 TV box launcher. Now this is a launcher I've seen many times before. You get it on the T95Z on a couple of different boxes. And the only difference is they've put Wechip logo just in the top left hand corner just here. Now the first thing that strikes me when I first turn this box on, we have got our taskbar menu just here, which is great to see. We're now seeing a lot of Nougat TV boxes without this menu, and you know, it does come in handy, especially when maybe an app crashes. We can go to here and we can bring up all our apps and we can shut them down properly, you know, remove them from RAM. But there we go. Unfortunately, a lot of TV boxes don't have it. This has it, which is great. We've also got our top menus, slide down menus, etc., which again is missing from a lot of TV boxes. Now, we've all seen this launcher before, so if you go to apps, you've got all your apps that's here, nicely laid out. Again, we've got our browser there, our video apps, etc., and got our Google Play Store just there. And again, we've got a settings menu. Again, very straightforward, Nougat. Swipe to the left, settings menu. We've got more settings just here if we want to go in there, and a few different setups. We've got Bluetooth, etc. We can turn on and off. I'd recommend you keep that off while you're using Wi-Fi, because as we know, Bluetooth likes to interrupt with Wi-Fi, and I'm sure it's no different with this TV box. Now again, we've got more. Now the one thing that disappoints me about this TV box is the fact that it doesn't come with OTA updates, or at least none that I'm aware of. Now this is the OTA updater app that comes with so many TV boxes for the last 5 years or so, and unfortunately I've never seen this app actually do anything other than being able to install or back up the current firmware. So maybe you can get some piece of firmware off the internet and download it, and you can install it using this. But I've never seen this work on any TV box, normally because it's just a generic app they put on there. So if they do release a piece of firmware, they'll upload it, you download it, and then you can install it that way, rather than them having to send you it out through their servers, which is a shame, because Wechip do state that they do update their boxes via OTA. So I'm a bit confused by that. Maybe I'm missing something, maybe I'm not, but this firmware definitely does need updates, but I'll get into that as we go through the review. So the V7 TV box is actually really nicely designed. It's quite modern, it's quite fresh. I've not seen this type of design before. Normally they come in just a generic sort of casing, and this is totally different. It's got quite a nice LED sort of display on the front. It's quite a good lighting effect, although I could imagine it get quite annoying in a dark room while watching a film. But the remote does have the option to actually switch this off, which is great. It's actually just like the T95Z, where you can actually switch it off as well, because that does have an LED effect as well going on that TV box. Overall, the design does look really quite smart. It's got a really nice on and off button which works really well. Now, I don't think it's not actually a button, it's actually just a sensor. You touch it very gently and it turns it on or off. So just be careful when actually moving your TV box around not to actually touch it, maybe when it's on, because it will definitely turn it off. We've done that a few times already. Now let's move on now, let's see the actual performance of this box. Gaming, Kodi, benchmarking and so on. Gameplay on this device is absolutely fine. As you can see, ASFOM 8 is running nice and smooth. This is on medium settings and I've got absolutely no complaints whatsoever. Now I did test another game, this kind of fighting game, and it doesn't seem to want to play it very well. Graphically, it's absolutely fine, it just doesn't want to talk to the joypad properly, and as you can see, we're twirling around in a circle, and I've actually seen this quite a few times on Amlogic devices. So I'd expect it's maybe something to do with the firmware not agreeing with this game, or some other issue. I'm not entirely sure, I'll probably never get to the bottom of that one. But overall, gameplay is absolutely fine, and graphically intensive games, you should expect a decent experience. Simple games like this Sonic the Hedgehog, you know, again, you shouldn't have any problems like that. Candy Crush, for example, absolutely fine, should be anyway. Now moving over to the Antutu bench scoring on this device, we're scoring 40,000. Now that's quite impressive actually, for, well, a relatively generic Amlogic S912 device. We've achieved 40,000 on other devices, but you know, it doesn't happen that often, and we're quite impressed actually. This Geekbench score, I'll just leave you to have a look through this at your own leisure. I'll be back in just a few seconds to go over Kodi, video playback, etc. So finally, Kodi users out there, this box is absolutely fine for the average user. Using the UI is absolutely nice and smooth, everything runs pretty well. Now I do know that a lot of forums and a lot of people don't recommend the S912 device for Kodi users for various different reasons, and I'd probably tend to agree with them. But if you're just an average user, there's no issues I can see that you would have using just Kodi 17.5 on this device. Now, if you're a more advanced user, for example, you maybe want to choose a different device, because again, Kodi probably, you know, is going to cause you issues, and I'll maybe leave a few links to actually discussions that would probably give you some more information about what I'm talking about. Now, when we actually play video playback on this device, it's absolutely fine, there's no issues there. I mean, this is YouTube playing, it's nice and smooth, the YouTube app runs really nicely as well, and video playback is absolutely fine. Again, this can handle 4K. Now, the only thing you need to understand is that this DRM protection on this device isn't up to scratch. It only protects you to wide vinyl level 3, whereas we need DRM protection level 1 for applications like Netflix. So Netflix won't run properly on this device, you'll be limited to 480p, you probably won't even be able to go on the Play Store and download it. There is already a Netflix application already pre-installed, so that's probably the reason why they've done that, because you don't have that wide vinyl level 1 protection, just wide vinyl level 3. Now, you can go out there and you can download Netflix from pretty much anywhere, install it that way, and you can play Netflix. Just remember, you'll be limited to 480p. So I think that pretty much concludes everything really that you would need to know when you decide whether to purchase a box like this. It's absolutely fine, this box. It's well priced, it looks nice, it does the job, and hopefully in time we'll see further improvements from Wechip for the firmware, for example. So just a few things you need to know about this box before we sign off really. The Play Store, for some reason, it works absolutely fine, but whenever you launch it, it's like launching for the first time, so it's a bit irritating. It starts downloading itself again, and as you can see on screen, it's just a bit of a pest really. Obviously there's an issue there with the firmware that needs fixing. Another issue with the firmware we found is that it sometimes resets the language. Now, every time you maybe turn the box on, not every time, but sometimes when you turn the box on, it'll be reset to Chinese, so you have to reset the language. I've seen that quite a few times on TV boxes before. Again, a firmware fix normally fixes that issue. Hopefully in time, Wechip will discover these problems, get feedback from their customers, and they'll address those issues. Hopefully they'll even put a proper OTA update wrap somewhere, because this box really needs it, especially for the price point as well. And considering Wechip say in their manuals and all their marketing material, they provide OTA updates. Maybe I'm making a mistake, maybe it's built in somewhere inside the firmware, and I just haven't got around to releasing an update yet. I'm not entirely sure. I doubt that anyway, but you know, there we go. So that's it, guys. I think that pretty much concludes this review. Great little box, really well priced, and overall it really looks really nice as well. So my name's Matthew, you've been watching the MXQ Project. Don't forget to check out our website, mxqproject.com. Don't forget to come and see us over on Twitter at MXQ Project, and don't forget to join our Facebook group as well. Bunch of lovely guys over there, very knowledgeable. And yeah, so thanks for watching. We shall see you on the next one.